Hi everyone, welcome to this module, the need for routing. In the first point is now we need routing. In most situations, we want our devices to be able to connect beyond our local network, out to other homes, business, and the internet. Devices that are beyond the local network segment are known as a remote host. When a source device sends a packet to a remote destination device, then the help of router and routing is needed. Routing is the process of identify the best path to a destination. A router is a networking device that connects multiply layer 3 IP networks at the destination layer of the network. Routers directly traffic and perform other functions critical to efficient network operation. Routers, like switches, are able to decode and read the messages that are sent to them, unlike switches, which make their forwarding decision based on the layer 2 MAC address. Routers make their forwarding decision based on the layer 3 AP address. The packet format contains the IP address of the destination and source host, as well as the message data being sent between them. The router reads the network portion of the destination IP address and uses it to find which one of the attached network is the best way to forward the message to the destination. Anytime the network portion of the IP address of the source and destination host do not match, a router must be used to forward the message. If a host located on a network needs to send a message to a host on this network, the host will forward the message to the router. The router receives the message, de-encapsulates the Ethernet frame, and then reads the destination IP address in the IP packet. It then determines where to forward the message. It re-encapsulates the packet back into a new frame and forward the frame on its destination. And click play to see how the MAC IP address are used. IP packet encapsulated in an Ethernet frame. Okay. A switch examines MAC address media access control. A router examines IP address. And this is the network portion and host portion of the IP address. Finish with check your understanding. Question 1. Reasons to divide a network into multiply smaller network. Choice 2. Devices receive all the network traffic, increase the network security. Large networks are more difficult to troubleshooting to maintain a smaller broadcast domain. That's right. You will divide a network into multiply smaller networks to maintain a smaller broadcast domain and increase the network security. Question 2. Which of the following devices is used to divide a network into smaller networks? This is the router. Router divide a network into smaller networks. Question 3. What is routing? Routing is a way to connect devices within a local area network. Routing is a process to determine the best path to a destination. Routing transfer data between devices. Uh, Routing is a way to connect devices within a local area network. Routing transfer data between devices. I don't know, I need to translate this. One moment, please. Okay. Okay. Routing is a process to determine the best path. Okay. Is reset and is this. Routing is a process to determine the best path to a destination. Okay. And the next topic is the routing table. Okay, routing table entries. Routers move information between local and remote network. To do this, router must use routing table to store information. Routing tables are not concerned with the address of individual hosts. Routing tables contain the address of networks and the best path to reach those networks. Entries can be made to the routing table in two ways: dynamically updated by information received from other routers in the network, or manually entered by a network administrator. Routers use the routing table to determine which interface to use to forward a message to its instead destination. If the router cannot determine where to forward a message, it will drop it. Network administrators configure a static default route that is placed into the routing table so that a packet will not be dropped due to the destination network not being in the routing table. A default route is the interface through which the router forwards a packet containing an unknown destination IP network address. This default route usually connects to another route that can forward the packet toward its final destination network. Okay, we can see four hosts connect with this switch, and the switch is connected to this router. Fast Ethernet 0/0 is the port, and Fast Ethernet 0/1 is the other port. Okay, type. The connection type C stands for directly connected. Network. The network address and the port, the interface used to forward packets to the network. The default gateway. The method that a host uses to send messages to a destination on a remote network differs from the way hosts send messages on the same local network. When a host needs to send a message to another host located on the same network, it will forward the message directly. A host will use ARP Address Resolution Protocol to discover the MAC address of the destination host. MAC is Media Access Control. The IPv4 packet contains the destination IPv4 address and encapsulates the packet into a frame containing the MAC address of the destination and forward it out. When a host needs to send a message to a remote network, it must use the router. The host includes the IP packet of the destination host within the packet just like before. However, when it encapsulates the packet into a frame, it uses the MAC address of the router as the destination for the frame. In this way, the router will receive and accept the frame based on the MAC address. How does the source how determine the MAC address of the router? A host is given the IPv4 address of the router through the default gateway address configured in this TCP/IP setting. The default gateway address is the address of the router interface connected to the same local network as the source host. A host on the local network uses the default gateway address to send messages to the router. When the host knows the default gateway IPv4 address, it can use ARP to determine the MAC address. The MAC address of the router is then placed in the frame, this time for another network. It's important that the correct default gateway be configured on each host on the local network. If not, the default gateway is configured in the host TCP/IP settings, or if the wrong default gateway is specified, message address to hosts on remote networks cannot be delivered. Okay, default gateway IPv4 with this address, remote network. Okay. PC, IPv4 address, subnet mask, and default gateway. Finish with check your understanding, select the default gateways. Okay, question 1. What is the default gateway for H1? H1, IP address, subnet mask, default gateway. is 192.178.1.1. That's right. What is the default gateway for H2? H2 10.0.0.1. That's right. Question 3. What is the default gateway for H3? 172.16.0.50. That's right. Check your understanding the routing table. Question 1. What information in the IP packet does the router use to determine which interface to forward the packet? What information in the IP packet? This is destination IP address. That's right, the router uses the destination IP address to determine which interface to forward the packet. Question 2. True or false? If host A has an IP packet to send to host B and host A has determined the host B is on a different network, host A will encapsulate the IP packet in an Ethernet frame with the destination MAC address of its default gateway. True. That's right. The correct answer is true. A host will use the destination MAC address of the default gateway for any packet that are destined for different network. Question 3. A default route is the interface through which the router forwards any packet when a host does not receive an ARP reply. A packet contains a destination AP network address that is not in the routing table of the router. I need to translate this question. Okay. A packet containing a destination IP that is not in the routing table. A packet containing a source IP address that is not in the routing table of the router. If a router does not have a route to a destination network, it uses the default router. Okay. A packet contains a destination IP network address that is not in the routing table of the router. That's right. If a router does not have a route to a destination network, it uses the default router. Question 4. A host will send a packet to the default gateway when it does not receive an ARP reply, the destination IP address is on a different network. The destination IP address is on a different network. That's right. A host sends packets destined for a different network to the default gateway. And okay, so the next point is create a LAN local area network. The term local area network refers to a local network or a group of interconnected local networks that are under the same administrative control. In the early days of networking, LANs were defined as small networks that existed in a single physical location. Although LANs can be a single local network installed in a home or a small office, the definition of LANs has evolved to include interconnected local networks consisting of many hundreds of hosts installed in a multiple buildings and locations. The important thing to remember is that all the local networks within a LAN are under one administrative control. Other common characteristics of LANs are that they typically use Ethernet or wireless protocol, and they support high data rates. The term Internet is often used to refer to a private LAN that belongs to an organization and is designed to be accessible only in the members of the organization, employers, and others with authorization. Okay, router 1 attached to 3 switches, local and remote network segments. Within a LAN, it's possible to place all hosts on a single local network or divide them up between multiple networks connected by a distribution layer device. How this placement is determined depends on desired result. Click below to learn more about local and remote network segments. The first step is all hosts in one local segment. Placing all hosts on a single local network allows them to be seen by all other hosts. This is because there is one broadcast domain and hosts use ARP to find each other. In a simple network design, it may be beneficial to keep all hosts within a single local network. However, as networks grow in size, increased traffic will decrease network performance and speed. In this case, it may be beneficial to move some hosts onto a remote network. Advantage of a single local segment: appropriate for simple network, least complexity and lower network cost. Allow device to be sent by other devices, faster data transfer, more direct communication, AC of device access. Disadvantage of a single local segment: all hosts are in one broadcast domain, which causes more traffic on a segment and may slow network performance. Harder to implement, harder to implement security. Okay. And the next step is host on a remote segment. Placing additional hosts on a remote network will decrease the impact of a traffic demand. However, hosts on one network will not be able to communicate with hosts on the other networks without the using of routing. Routers increase the complexity of the network configuration and can introduce latency of time delay on packets sent from one local network to the other. Advantage: more appropriate for large, more complex networks. Split up broadcast domains and decrease traffic. Can improve its performance on each segment. Make the matching invisible to those on other local network segments. Can provide increased security. Can improve network organization. And disadvantage is require the usage of routing distribution layer. Router can slow traffic between segments and more complexity and expensive. Okay, packet tracer observe traffic flow in a router network. In this packet tracer activity, you will complete the following objectives. Part 1: observe the traffic flow in a unrouted LAN. Part 2: configure the network to router between LANs. And Part 3: observe traffic flow in the router network. Okay, this lab is for the older video. This is all for this. See you in the next one. Bye.